Today, we're counting down the top 10 greatest Tom Cruise action scenes, ranked by risk, legacy box office, pure adrenaline. Asterisk 1. Jack Reacher 2012 and Jack Reacher. Tom Cruise steps into the gritty shoes of a former military investigator, drawn into a mysterious sniper case involving a falsely accused man. The film opens with a chilling public shooting and quickly pulls Reacher into a web of corruption, its cover-ups, and violence in Middle America. With a budget of $60 million and a global box office take of $218 million, the movie is often praised for its grounded and brutal action, particularly the 1 versus 5 street fight scene. Unlike the flashy choreography of modern blockbusters, this fight is slow, awkward, and painful, exactly how real fights often are. Cruise trained intensely, with martial arts experts to make every punch feel deliberate and rough. The absence of background music in this scene emphasizes the rawness and danger. As the camera lingers, we see not a superhero but a seasoned fighter calculating every move. This scene is a fan favorite for its realism and tension, proving Cruise didn't need CGI to deliver serious impact. 2. Collateral 2004 and Collateral. Tom Cruise flips the script and plays Vincent, a silver-haired, calculated contract killer who hijacks a cab driven by Max Jamie Foxx to carry out a night of hits. Across Los Angeles, set over one tension-filled night, this Michael Mann thriller slowly builds to an iconic shootout in a packed nightclub, where Vincent calmly and efficiently eliminates targets while chaos erupts around him. With a $65 million budget and a $220 million box office return, Collateral proved Cruise could disappear into the role of a villain with chilling effectiveness. The action is fast, precise, and framed with Mann's signature handheld digital cinematography, which adds a raw, immersive feel. The nightclub scene stands out for its strategic pacing. Cruise fires with speed and accuracy, showing what real close-quarters combat might look like when executed by a professional. His physical training with former special forces made this scene pulse with authenticity. This was one of the first roles that showed Cruise's range, combining cold emotion with fluid action choreography, redefining what we expected from a Cruise film. 3. The Last Samurai, 2003 asterisk, In The Last Samurai. Cruise plays Nathan Algren, a disillusioned American soldier hired to train the Japanese army in modern warfare, but who ends up captured by samurai rebels. Immersed in their world, he learns the Bushido code, discovers a new sense of honor, and ultimately joins their doomed final stand against the Imperial Army. With a hefty $140 million budget and an impressive global box office haul of $456 million, the film remains a sweeping epic of cultural collision and personal redemption. The climactic battle, where Algren leads a suicidal cavalry charge against heavily armed troops, is both breathtaking and heartbreaking. Shot with real horses, extras in full armor, and minimal CGI. The sequence captures the contrast between tradition and modernity. Cruise, who trained extensively in sword combat and horseback riding, delivers a performance driven more by emotion than pure heroics. The scene works because it's not about winning, it's about dying with purpose. This is one of Cruise's most emotional action scenes, a moment of cinematic beauty where combat, culture, and character collide. Asterisk 4. Mission: Impossible 2, 2000. Directed by John Woo, Mission: Impossible to Seize Ethan Hunt. Cruise race to recover a genetically engineered virus before it falls into the wrong hands. The film opens with a jaw-dropping sequence of Cruise free-climbing Dead Horse Point in Utah. No stunt double, no CGI, just pure risk. Shot practically on real cliffs with Cruise wearing only a thin safety harness, the scene cost millions and required rigorous preparation. With a $125 million budget and a $546 million box office take, this sequel marked a shift into more stylized balletic action. The climbing scene itself sets the tone. This Ethan Hunt is bold, reckless, and thrives on adrenaline. Cruise reportedly injured his shoulder during the shoot, underscoring how far he was willing to go for realism. Though some critics found the plot thin, the stunts were undeniable. The raw verticality of the climb, combined with Woo's signature, Slow motion and doves turned this moment into one of the most iconic openings in modern action film history. It showed fans that Tom Cruise wasn't here to fake danger. He wanted to face it. 5. Top Gun 1986. Top Gun launched Tom Cruise into superstardom as Maverick, cocky Navy pilot with unmatched flying skills and a dangerous need for speed. Set in the elite U.S. Navy fighter weapons school, the story revolves around Maverick's growth as a pilot and a man, set against the backdrop of Cold War tension and testosterone-fueled competition. With a modest $15 million budget, the film soared to a massive $357 million worldwide, becoming a cultural landmark. The final dogfight, where Maverick and Iceman engage in an air battle against enemy MiGs, remains one of the most thrilling aerial combat sequences ever filmed. Using real fighter jets and Navy-approved flight choreography, the scenes were shot with IMAX cameras inside the cockpits, a groundbreaking choice at the time. The result was visceral, disorienting, and thrilling. Cruise's chemistry with the camera and commitment to doing real aerial maneuvers helped immortalize Maverick. The film didn't just sell tickets, it boosted Navy recruitment and redefined the action genre. The final flight proved Cruise could not only act in action movies, he could become the face of them. 6. War of the Worlds 2005. Steven Spielberg's War of the Worlds casts Cruise as Ray Ferrier, a divorced father suddenly forced to protect his children when towering alien machines begin exterminating humanity. The $132 million budget and global earnings of $603 million, it became one of the biggest sci-fi hits of the decade. The most iconic moment is the first appearance of the tripods as they rise from the ground and begin vaporizing everything in sight. Cruise plays the scene with terror and disbelief, perfectly capturing the panic of an average man thrown into the apocalypse. Shot in a single extended take with practical explosions, crowd panic, and no music, the scene drops the audience into a world falling apart in real time. Cruise's performance sells the fear. It's not about heroism. It's about survival. This is one of his most grounded action scenes, relying less on stunts and more on tension and emotion. It's a terrifying reminder that Cruise can shine even when the enemy is CGI, as long as the human drama is real. 7. Mission Impossible 3, 2006. In Mission Impossible 3, Cruise returns as Ethan Hunt, this time facing off against one of the most chilling villains in the franchise, Owen Davian, played by Philip Seymour Hoffman. The story blends espionage and emotion, as Ethan races to rescue his kidnapped wife while dealing with a bioweapon called the Rabbit's Foot. With a $150 million budget and $398 million global earnings, the film marked a tonal shift for the series. One standout moment is the bridge attack scene where Ethan is blindsided by a missile strike and flung sideways in slow motion. The stunt, performed practically, required Cruise to be yanked by high-speed cables across the set. The shot is quick, but unforgettable, a mix of precision, danger, and chaos. Director J.J. Abrams captured the intensity of real-world threats while keeping the action grounded. The realism of the explosion, combined with Cruise's physicality, created a scene that felt painfully authentic. This was the first time Ethan Hunt seemed truly vulnerable, and that made the action more meaningful. 8. Edge of Tomorrow 2014. Edge of Tomorrow stars Cruise as Major William Cage, a military PR officer with no combat experience who is forced into a suicide mission against invading aliens, only to wake up and relive the same day every time he dies. With a $178 million budget and $370 million global return, it became a cult favorite for its clever storytelling and exhausting action. The standout scene is the Normandy-style beach invasion that resets every time Cruise dies. It's brutal, relentless, and visually overwhelming. Cruise performed dozens of takes in a bulky exosuit designed to simulate futuristic military armor. The repetition of death and rebirth adds urgency to every frame. As Cage learns and adapts, we witness a total transformation from coward to warrior. The film's combination of sci-fi and war action created something fresh in Cruise's ability To play both comedy and despair within the same loop made the performance one of his most versatile. The beach battle is unforgettable, not because he wins, but because he earns every inch of progress. 9. Top Gun: Maverick 2022. Top Gun: Maverick picks up decades after the original, with Cruise's Pete "Maverick" Mitchell returning to train. A new generation of pilots for a near-impossible stealth bombing mission. Made for $170 million, the film became a global phenomenon, earning $1.5 billion at the box office. The standout action scene is the final canyon run assault, shot in real fighter jets with the actors enduring up to 8 gigaseconds of force. Cruise insisted the cast undergo flight training and personally oversaw much of the aerial cinematography. G-force distortion on the actors' faces was real, not CGI. The result? A viscerally intense sequence that feels like you're inside the cockpit. The mission is filmed with tight shots, minimal music, and constant tension. It's not just technical, it's emotional, with Cruise carrying the weight of both mentor and pilot. Maverick's final flight isn't just about beating the enemy, it's about redemption, legacy, and passing the torch. It's the kind of cinematic experience that reminds audiences why we go to theaters. 10. Mission: Impossible Fallout 2018. In Mission: Impossible Fallout, Ethan Hunt must recover stolen plutonium while being hunted by the CIA and facing betrayal from within. With a $178 million budget and $791 million in global earnings, it's widely regarded as the best in the franchise. The crown jewel is the Halo jump, a real 25,000-foot skydive over Abu Dhabi performed by Cruise himself, captured in a single take. The scene took months of training, custom helmet development, and hundreds of practice jumps. Filmed at sunset to capture a specific lighting effect, the stunt combines risk, beauty, and flawless choreography. It's not just the jump, it's how the camera follows Cruise as he flips, spins, and steadies himself mid-air before landing directly into a Paris thunderstorm. The scene is breathtaking not just because of the technical mastery, but because you know it's real. No doubles, no tricks. Cruise risked his life, and the result is an action scene so intense, so pure, that it redefined what audiences expect from modern blockbuster cinema.